You don't misplay.
Oh, all day.
No, man.
Oh, I forgot. I'm a YouTuber now. We don't misplay.
Yeah, bro. YouTubers don't misplay.
They're actually just smarter. You actually start a channel and you actually just get better immediately. Hi, my name is Ty.
And I'm Junie. And we're
And we're
talking.
talking card games. Oh,
We can totally figure that out. We gotta
yeah,
be like.
no, that's okay. I think that's perfect. Pretty much the whole plan of what we want to do is we want to get people, like-minded people, and just people who like cards. We're gonna talk about cards. If you want to listen and also talk about cards, you join the Discord, and then we pretty much just want to get people to just because cards are fun. They're just fun. Opening them, collecting them, playing them, learning what they do, all are great.
Listen to this, man. Neither of us.
Have won anything.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, we don't have to play it like that. We don't have to play it in that route of like
We know everything.
know everything. We're champions. We're pros. We're not. We know that.
If we can give you insight and you can do really well with our info, that's great. If you don't and you just have fun with our info, fantastic. If you just bomb after our info, you didn't get it from us.
We genuinely just want to generate a community and just like have something that people can like come to and go, these guys are like me.
We're authentic players. This is what the average guy is like playing a card game. They worry about budget. They just try to have fun with it.
We're just normal people who are doing
Playing cards.
who are literally just playing cards and
Enjoying a hobby.
right. Like playing card games can be super therapeutic.
Well, think about like why people get into hobbies. You know, they deal with their daily lives, going to work, responsibilities. They just want to do something that's literally just enjoyment. There's nothing, and that's what cards are for. You know, probably people who would watch our stuff.
Right.
You know, we're all in the same atmosphere of, you know, I don't want to like be stressed out because I'm already stressed out with work and life. So I'm just going to enjoy cards.
It's really cool to see. Like, I think what's awesome about these games and their like individuality is that each game reminisces in a way, or it's like it's show. Like even for Dragon Ball, right? You start off small. You have this.
By the end of it, you're going.
You have this main character, and then it's like, you know, a couple turns pass, and then all of a sudden it's like you're ramping up. And some games, a turn can take 30 seconds, and then it can turn around and take, you know, a good 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah. Also, with like that game, you know, how the show works, they get beat up, and then they just like randomly power up, and then it's like go time, and it's completely switched. And that's what that game does really well. Like you can be getting completely destroyed, and then just like go, hey, guess what? Bam, and then just like switch it back up.
I don't know. I mean, you and I have had games like that. Oh, just in what we've been able to play with you with Gohan and like me with whatever of like something will be happening, and then all of a sudden.
And most of the time, if I win, it was one of those moments where it was like,
like I really just messed up.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, hey, here's my chance. Where's my dad? I need this. I need it. I need his energy. Like, I don't know how you got into cards. I don't.
Man, dude, the way I got into cards is very typical. I got into like I used to have a lot of like, I mean, you kind of know this. I used to have like a lot of ear surgeries and stuff, and ear infections, all sorts of things, like getting tubes in my ears. Like I remember a lot of that stuff, and sometimes I would be able to get out of like my dad would, like I'd get out of school in like kindergarten and go, and my dad would just be like, "You want to get a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, son?" And like I'd get a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Pokemon cards or whatever, and like just open them up in Toys R Us. Toys R
I
Us was
missed
the
it. It's coming back.
RIP.
It's coming back. Did you hear that?
It's back, bro. It's not gonna be the same.
No, but they're I think it's like, I forget what. It's not. I don't think it's Macy's, but it might be Macy's. But it's inside one of those types of stores.
When I was a kid, we did like my dad took me to like a locals tournament with a couple of my cousins and my uncle, and I did like super good. I came in like third as like an 8-year-old, and I was beating up on with like OG Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like I remember, I just ran a Red Eyes Black Dragon deck.
Simple, just simple.
Dude, it's super simple. Like how, and I'm thinking back on it, I have no idea how I made it that far.
You're like, I just kind of grabbed cards from a pack and threw it in there.
No, I was so confused.
Well,
I think my dad did for me, and I just
played what he did. That was like probably early stages of YouTube. I don't even think there was probably any like.
Listen, man, I 8.
Yeah, no, there probably wasn't.
Younger than that.
Yeah. My brother, he used to be really big into Yu-Gi-Oh. Right, or probably around the time you were there. And him and his buddies would all play. They were in high school at this point, so they would go, and my dad would like drop them off. They would go, and then my dad pick them up, and then they'd just be complaining because like some kid hustled them and took all their cards. They're like, that kid. They're like, and then they go, we're getting more packs, and next week we're kicking his ass. And then every week they lost. I just remember always being like, hey, did you guys win? And they're like, no. I'm like, yeah, figured. That was like my experience with Yu-Gi-Oh. And like when I would steal my brother's cards, you'd be like, you'd take them. And then I'd be like, ooh, look, it's a picture. Like, I didn't know what they did. I played with my one buddy, and we wouldn't even know what was going on. We played, like, war. We just flip it, and whoever had the bigger one won. And that was what we did.
Well, no. So, I actually, surprisingly enough, during that, like, when I actually didn't have an an eardrum, I didn't really play cards all that much. I played... I think I actually started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Again near the end of high school.
Okay.
So, like, kind of in between that. I didn't do, like, I did little bits here and there, but, like, for the most part, I wasn't really in the cards. And then it's fun now. Like, it's just something that it's kind of therapeutic. Like I said earlier, it's very therapeutic.
Like, for me, like, I collected like the Pokemon cards as like a kid, but I didn't like do like any game. Like, it ended up being in high school, my junior year. I was getting on the bus to a game, and I sat by someone I normally don't sit by. It was someone, he was in my grade. Like, I knew of him, but we weren't really like close. But we were friends, like school friends. Like, I'd hang out with him at school, and then as soon as school ended, you never really like did anything outside of that. But I sat with him, and we just started talking about Pokemon, and we started going. And then we both were like, dude, let's go get cards and like actually try to learn the card game, because we both talked about getting cards but never knowing how to play. So we're like, sweet. Then we got a couple other of our buddies that were also on the team. We're like, hey, you want to go to Target and we'll go get some Pokemon cards? So we did. We went to Target, and then I'm in line. I got my Articuno deck. I'm super pumped with this little starter. I'm like, this is gonna be great. I go in line and I go to buy it, and the lady's like, we got like Star Wars shirts in the back too if you want them, sweetie. And I was like, no, these are fine. I'm fine with just the Pokemon cards, thank you. So I was like, I think this was before like really like I don't know. I was like, whatever. And then I was like, that lady was making fun of us. And I go, screw her. So we ended up finding a comic book shop in a mall that was closing, so everything was cheap, and we could get 3 packs for $10. And that was like our like, hell yeah. We'd go there, get packs, and then go back to my house and then have like our Pokemon night, where we pretty much just like gambled it out. It'd be like, okay, we'd be playing, we go, all right, what are we betting this one? And I look at all my cards, I go, this EX. And they're like, ooh, that's a good one. I'll throw this one down. And then we're like, all right, let's play our game. It was fun. But the thing was, when we did that, we would just, like, we would do that, and then we would give the card. Like, we never kept them. Like, it was like, oh, if I won your cards, I'd use them again. That's place that as the bet. It was fun. We never did it. We would always alternate, kind of like what I do with you. Like, hey, you need this card? Doink. I don't need it. Like, it was fun. But we did that my whole junior year. Oh my gosh, best year of high school was my junior year for sure. Then my senior year, I like didn't do anything card related, and I just wanted to like go hang out with different types of people for some reason. I don't know. It was my fault. Shouldn't have did it. Waste of a year. Then went to college, and my roommate and I brought my Pokemon cards to college, and he did too, but we didn't know that. So we just were like, yeah, like I like sometimes I used to like collect Pokemon cards. He go pull them out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, here's mine. Like we just had them, and then we would like just like compare cards, and that's what we did. I have his cards right now because when I moved out my freshman year, he like left them by accident, and then I always forget to give them back, but he always forgets to remind me. So we have this like every time he goes back home, he lives an hour away. We'd both be like, hey, I still have your cards. And he's like, yeah, I know. I'll get them later. And then that's there. Then a couple months later, started a family, got married, switched schools. Then I played soccer my whole life, played in college. Then after my first year of not playing soccer, I was like, this is weird. I haven't done anything. It's like the first year of my life where I didn't physically do anything for a whole year. So I go, I should probably start to learn how to, I need to do something. So I'm going to learn how to skateboard. So I started skateboarding, and that was going really well for a year. And then I was going down a hill, Mach 30, hit a pebble, launched myself, and shattered my clavicle. And then after the clavicle was completely busted, I before that I was slowly getting into cards, not much, mainly just collecting Pokemon cards. And then I saw Digimon, and I was like, oh, I don't know anything about Digimon, I'll try it out. And then I'm going down a hill, break my clavicle, and go, wow, I can't do anything physical anymore, might as well just really get into cards. So started just going off onto the cards, started making YouTube videos on cards, and then how I met you was I was playing a Digimon game against a guy who clearly spent way more money than me, so he was just better. I had a starter deck, he had a completely built deck, and he just tore me up and made comments about how, dude, your deck's just a starter deck. I'm like, I know, that's what I bought. That's all I have. I'm like, yes, that's exactly what it is. It is a red starter deck. This is all we have here. And you were like there watching the game. And then you're just like, I'll help this guy out. And then
I talk and help. Yeah, that was a good.
And then here we are. Now we're
talking card games.
Now we're talking card games.
Yeah, that was like probably what, back in like
March,
April maybe.
I would say I broke it in April. It was a little bit before that.
Yeah, it was a little before you.
I would say March, like end of March, is when I decided to try out my first game of Digimon.
And I just so happened to be in the Discord. Looking.
You're like, I'll watch this game.
Yeah, no, because that was happening with Digimon. Digimon was one of those games that when it first started, just booming. And sometimes like I want to play, but sometimes I would just want to watch, because sometimes like that's just how I learn. I just learn by watching sometimes. I don't even I just watch, and I'm like, okay, I understand like why this person did this. I don't understand why this person did this if they had this as an option, but like whatever. And so I was just like going through, and I was like, okay, I've never seen either of these two people play. And then I just clicked on it and joined it. And I enter, and he's just like, he's playing Shine Gray.
Yeah.
and just iterating a starter deck, and I'm like, Jesus. And like, he didn't say anything in terms of like how to help.
No,
He just
no. He just critiqued how I didn't spend enough money. I'm
he
like,
was
oh,
yeah,
sorry.
he I think one of the things that he said, I remember him saying, he was just like, yeah, man, it's not like, he was like,
Oh,
I could something. He was, I think there's something he said where he was like, I could have used like something a little more equal. Like I have starter decks, like I could have used that, but like I'm using this, and I'm just like in my head, I'm like, if you're facing somebody new, just I know you paid money to have this awesome deck, but like I'm sure you're gonna have an opportunity to use that awesome
against
deck.
someone else who also has a good deck. I want to
Right.
go back and find this guy. I don't even remember his name, but I want to go back and find him and go, hey, buddy, let's go. It's go time. I've learned. If you weren't there to, like, help me out afterwards, I probably wouldn't have got into the game. Because I was like, this dude's just an asshole.
You were just like, this is how card games
I was
work.
like, is this how these people are? Because I don't want to be a part of this.
No, man.
And he's the only person I've ever met who's not like that, or who is like that. Everyone else is normal, like super nice or informative. Like one guy, like recently spent like 2 hours helping me build a deck.
That spent 2 hours with you. Wasn't that jellyfish guy?
Yeah,
We gotta shout him out, dude. He's so good.
Jellyfish Man's amazing.
Such a pure human. It's Jellyfish guy.
Is it Jellyfish Guy? I started making YouTube videos on skateboarding stuff, and I now, like, in my head, I'm like, that's the reason how I got like the confidence to post. And now I post anything that I just enjoy, and I don't really care anymore. But like, you know how you have that like, I don't know, what if someone I know sees this? And you're like, it's like, because like, you know how you get that like in the back of your head, and then you have to realize no one cares. No one really cares what you're doing. In the sense of like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna tweet about it. Look at this guy, he's making card game content. Like, but like for me, after doing skateboarding, that gave me like, it also gave me that like, oh, I really like video editing, and I really like doing that type of things and coming up with ideas and following through with them. Like I like doing that. But like, well, what was for you? Like, what made you go, I'm gonna start making videos?
Man, I don't know. It was just something because my last semester of college, I was student teaching, and I had just gotten into Dragon Ball pretty decently. Like I enjoyed it a lot. Enjoyed making deck videos and stuff, or like budget decks and stuff. And I realized like there's not a whole lot. There at the time there was not a whole lot of budget deck videos. Like budget videos are really hard to come by, surprisingly.
Especially with Dragon Ball, because that game, there's a lot of expensive cards that are like good. Like they have a reason why they're.
Like if you were to take a budget deck version deck and put it up against a non-budget deck version of that deck, the non-budget deck version is just going to win.
Yeah.
Period. It is kind of one of those games where some decks are a little on the cheaper side than others. But for the most part, like for your deck to be winning games, you're gonna have to put a little bit of money into it. It's kind of just like how that game works. But at the time, I was like, okay, let's see like what I can make happen, and I started doing some budget videos. I started getting more invested into the card game, and then that kind of just like I just like making deck profiles. I wish I had more time for it.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Right, but I think like what we're doing now, of like we're gonna take a couple hours and like.
Yeah, once you like have a schedule, it's easier to do things, breaking it down and understanding it, but also having like at the end, here's the whole thing, like.
Right.
I think that works when you're explaining the deck, single the cards out, because that's how you really get it. But like after or right in the beginning, here's the whole deck. Now let's explain it, and then doing that.
Right. Or like if they have the deck list into the link that they can just click on and go, boop, okay, sweet. Yeah. Thank you. Maybe if they want to stick around and understand the deck, stick around and understand it. But some don't want to. Some people already understand the deck. Some
They
people
just
already
wanted to see what you're running.
they just want to see what you're running so that they can also run it, which is super valid. It's super fair.
Yeah, I have that sometimes. When you're watching certain people, you're like, okay, I know the game. I don't need to learn what this rookie does because I get it. I know what it does. I play it. Like, I just wanted to see what your ratios are. One time I was making deck videos, okay, for Digimon, and then I was playing a game against someone, and this guy was like, your voice sounds so familiar, and I don't know why. And I'm like, well, I make YouTube videos. He goes, oh my gosh. He goes, I watched your video today. He goes, this deck that I'm running, that I'm playing against you, it's inspired from what you were telling me in the deck. And I was like, that's super cool. He beat me. I was like, sweet, man. The man, you know. But like, in my head, like, that was like a wow, this is really cool. Like, I was like, I really like, it makes you feel way more like, oh wow, people actually listen. Those numbers are not just a number. There's someone watching it. And like, have you ever had a moment like that?
So I actually also, so when Digimon first started, I think you remember this. I've told you about it before. I was running the yellow purple rookie rush.
Yes, you played.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I was one of, literally, I faced one other person with that deck. One. And it was a month and a half, 2 months after I posted a profile on it.
Yeah.
And it was like right before I think it was like right before the Shine Greymon set was gonna come out.
That's when I got into the game.
Right. That's like right when you got in. But right before that, like, I had a video, and I think it's like one of my most viewed videos on my channel.
Yeah.
I could, but I want to say it is. And I like faced it. I faced them, and I was like, purple yellow rookie rush, and he goes, wait a minute, and I'm like,
yeah.
And I was like, dude, I was like, that's sick. And he was just like, I got this from you. And I'm like, sweet.
It's such a cool moment. You're just like, this is awesome. Like, I just remember like my experience with that. I was just like, this is cool. Like, it made me want to pump out way more, because I was like, wow, this is, when you actually like feel like what you're saying is actually helping people. But then on the the flip side of that coin, I've had videos where I posted and people just commented that I was dumb. And I was like, fair enough.
What people need to understand about card games is it is opinion based.
True.
Very little thing called fact. Very little facts in card games.
Yeah.
There are some things that have better matchups, but not always is something going to work out the way one thinks.
True.
And just somebody's opinion is not the same as yours, it doesn't give you any right to poo on them. Like, literally, you say what you're going to say, and if anybody's watching this, listen. If you don't like what we have to say, I'm sorry. It's my opinion, and I'm sure you have your own. I'm sure Ty is going to have different opinions from me.
Probably.
The thing...
Probably at some point.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we respect each other. We also respect your opinion, whatever it is that you're going to comment. But if you're going to bring hate into our comment chat, don't.
No.
Thanks.
It's not baller.